Microplastics are also a big conversation right now. This is something that you've spoken out about quite a bit. How are we exposed to different microplastics in our environment, and what are the negative impacts of them?
So if you look, I mean, you've seen the studies now. They look in human testicles, human ovaries, human brains. There's microplastics everywhere. That's scary to think my brain has an appreciable amount of microplastics in it.
And these are essentially like petroleum byproducts, right?
Yep, small fragments of plastic. So unfortunately, we absorb them and we hold on to some of them, and our body probably detoxifies them gradually in sort of a flux, as a flux, in and out. But I think the most important thing with microplastics is to understand like the biggest sources of exposure. When I've looked at sheer numbers, I think the biggest source of exposure is plastics, like plastic water bottles, plastic lined containers. But there are a lot of those things that I think that many of us don't have an awareness of. So obviously getting your bottled water in plastic is a horrible idea. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of microplastics per liter, especially if it's been sitting on the shelf at Costco for 6 months or sitting in your car in 200-degree heat as the car is turning into a sauna. Horrible idea. But all cans are lined with plastic. So soda cans, the worst can is a soup can, because soup cans are filled with hot soup.
Yeah.
So the thing you don't want to do is to put hot liquids into plastic. And believe me, when I was in PA school, I had plastic containers and I took my chicken and pasta sauce and I put it in the microwave and I dosed myself with microplastics just like the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. I didn't even think about it. Just so unaware. But you do not want to put hot things into plastic. That's a horrible idea. So soups, all these things, really, that's probably one of the biggest exposures that we're not aware of. I was pretty surprised by the numbers with tea and tea bags. I think I need to see some more studies, but tea apparently has quite a bit of microplastics. You would never want to brew tea. Have you seen those like plastic tea bags?
Yes.
They're like the pyramidal shaped tea bags.
And they're like kind of pearly looking.
Yes.
They look really pretty, but yeah, I see those a lot at spas, and I used to drink them, and now I just imagine all of the plastic that I'm drinking when I drink them, and I can't do it anymore.
Well, the worst one for me is, do you ever have a Camelback? Remember those Camelbacks?
Yeah.
They tasted like plastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I used to do so much running and biking. I'm
You can really taste it. Like I can imagine the
Yes.
taste right now.
The visceral
of like
taste.
drinking the plastic residue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And drinking out of plastic bottles when I ride my road bike or my mountain bike.
And you just don't know with those bottles, like if they've been sitting in a hot warehouse for however long, water doesn't expire. So, I mean, yeah, even if like it's not hot when you have it in your possession, you don't know where it's been stored. Same with all these foods.
Yeah, so it's tough. I mean, fish is another big exposure of microplastics too, because they're in the ocean, they're swimming in it literally, and they're bioaccumulating this. So what do we do? So look, none of us is going to be free of microplastics. One of the most challenging things is just getting meat, So I still get meat in plastic from the store because I want to buy meat and it's already packaged in plastic. I imagine that if it's frozen, there's not as much transfer of anything from the plastic to the meat, whether it's endocrine disrupting chemicals or little fragments of microplastics, but we haven't solved it yet. I've often thought, like, how could we build better packaging, plastic packaging? I mean, I'm looking at some cars over here and thinking like the number of plastic parts to make a car, the number of plastic parts to make all of the technology that we are using here is innumerable, but like that is a problem for us as humans because it's putting more plastic in the environment, and the plastic packaging around our foods is a big deal.
We just rely on it so much.
Yeah, how do we fix it? I don't know.
I've gotten like quarter cows or half cows before from Primal Pastures and had it wrapped in not plastic, but
Like butcher paper?
Yeah, like butcher paper.
That would be the way to do it.
I feel like that's a better option. It doesn't last as long, but as long as you're eating it regularly, it's fine.
Well, what I've thought about, and again, this is just practice, and it would be more work for everyone involved in the supply chain, is you can still vacuum pack it, but if you wrap it in a parchment paper within the vacuum packing,
Oh yeah,
then it wouldn't actually be touching the plastic.
it's a really good idea.
So I wish the meat were packaged that way, but in a grocery store, the meat doesn't look as good
Right.
when there's a piece of paper between the
Yeah,
plastic
people
and the
want to
meat.
be able to see it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I don't. I'm just like, I trust you. Give me
Yeah.
the steak. I don't want it to be touching plastic if I can avoid it. So
And I
yeah,
think the most important thing then is just not to defrost it, not to like put it in hot water, the plastic
Yeah.
packaging to defrost it quickly.
yeah,
Just thinking ahead a little bit and like taking it out of the freezer, putting it in the fridge to defrost over time.
yeah. I've got to imagine that meat touching plastic is one of the least problematic things, but it's what I think about fixing in my own life. Just to the earlier conversation that we had about coffee, like Keurigs, these like instant, like these are bad. These are bad. So my girlfriend is mad at me about this, but she had a Breville.
Okay.
And I took it apart. I don't. We made content.
Did you tell her you were going to?
Yeah, I told her I was going to. I told her I bought her a stainless steel, espresso pot instead. But like I took apart the Breville, and it's all plastic tubes. We have a piece of content about this. I don't know if we've published it yet, but it's all these plastic tubes in the Breville with hot water, right?
Yeah.
So what the Breville does is it takes water from a plastic reservoir, puts it into an aluminum heating element, heats it up, and then moves it hot through the sort of espresso, the espresso sort of handle. I don't know the terms because I don't drink espresso, guys, but it moves hot water through tubes after an aluminum thing. So you don't want hot water touching aluminum. You don't want hot water touching plastic tubes. So that's a problem. But then you have the Keurigs and these like coffee pots. They're super convenient, back to that other word that we talked about earlier, but they're tin, and they're aluminum and they're tin. That's all going into the water, right into your coffee. So, you go to Starbucks, and I know I'm just wrecking people's brains right now. Look, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Knowledge is power. Do the best you can. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm trying to drop knowledge and help people make better decisions. But you go to Starbucks, all the machines there are running hot water through plastic tubes, right? Unless you're getting pour over coffee or French press, they're heating in a stainless steel. You can do it, but you have to not raise your coffee. You have to make your coffee in a certain way. And that's interesting. So the Lineage coffee is designed to be made in a French press, or sorry, something doesn't have plastic.
What about plastics in clothing?
Yeah. So the main thing that I've seen with clothing, there's a couple problems with clothing. So one of the things is the PFAs, right? So the perfluoroalkyl substances, the forever chemicals, because they do seem to transfer through the skin. So there were studies on Lululemon leggings, Old Navy,
I used to work at Lululemon.
All the companies do this, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they will put PFAs into the leggings because women sweat in the leggings and they don't want it. It's like a moisture barrier.
Oh, at Lululemon, that was like one of the main selling points that we were taught to educate customers on, was the moisture wicking capabilities. But really, it's just the PFAS that are sprayed all over them that allow that barrier to be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and what we know is that those can be absorbed through the skin. So that's not a good thing either. And then there's these other studies that I've spoken about a little bit recently where, and it's kind of a funny set of studies. They've done it in humans and in dogs, where they put polyester underwear on the dogs and it actually decreases sperm counts.
After how long?
I think it was after 6 months.
Wow.
And they've done it in humans too. They had humans wear sort of polyester underwear. They used cotton underwear, I think, as a control because, it's increasing the heat in the testicles, right? But it doesn't look like it was the cotton underwear did nothing, but the polyester underwear, probably because of like a static effect, electrostatic.
It's not like endocrine.
I don't think it's endocrine disrupting. It's probably an electrostatic effect.
Okay.
Yeah. It also happened in female dogs. So yeah, it's like,
wow.
Historically, as humans, we have not had synthetic clothing on. I think we should ask questions and be careful and be skeptical about what synthetic clothing may do next to our skin, especially next to our reproductive organs. I don't think we have this answer yet, but it's worrisome.
It's worth thinking about, especially with how much infertility exists today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And underwear, I think, is the best place to start.
Underwear is a great place to start.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll make some Lineage underwear here. I'm joking. I don't think we're going to make Lineage underwear.